guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 2, Infected. Guys, I really love this episode. I thought this episode was amazing, and it was better than the premiere. I thought both episodes were great, but this episode was even better than that. There was so much intensity, and so much shit is about to go down. It was so great. So, right in the beginning of the episode, we start off with a huge twist. We see someone is carrying a flashlight. They have a rope, and attached to the rope are these rats, and they feed the rats to the walkers. And we don't know who this is. We don't know why they're doing this, but for some reason they are. And, I mean, that was such a big scene. Then we go to a scene of Tyrese and Karen in their cell, and they're being cute and everything. But Karen, you know, she has to leave the room, and she goes into the showers where she hears movements but finds nothing. And after she exits, a zombified Patrick rises out of the shower undetected. He exits the showers, and then he hears this man, basically. He literally devours the man, and then he just leaves. And basically it's morning, so you basically think he just ate that man all night long, and that was just... Then we got to the theme song. I was like, after that scene, this episode, I knew was going to be so good, because those two scenes were amazing. And just to start out the episode like that, that was awesome, the way they start out the episode like that. Then we see Rick and Carl. They're basically heading out to tend to the pigs, and Carl asks if he can help with the fence cleaners. By the way, guys, I'm not reviewing this by plot points because really just everything intertwines in this show, so there's really no big plot points. You know, there are plot points, but I mean like plot by plot. I usually do that with shows, but I'm not doing that with this. You know, Mitchon, who was heading out on a supply run, oh, wait a minute. I read the wrong part. Okay. Carl apologizes and assures Rick that he's trying to live normally, and Carl asks if he can help with the fence cleaners, but Rick shuts the idea down. Then he asks if he can have his gun back, and before Rick can answer, they start hearing sirens, and it turns out that there's zombies in cell block D, and we see Micah and Lizzie, you know, screaming for help, and a horde of walkers have attacked them. And, basically, that's what we see. Mitch who was hanging out on a supply run, is alerted by the chaos, and basically everyone's attacked. Ryan Samuels is into a cell. He's bitten on the arm and prepares to amputate it before realizing he has been bitten on the back of his neck as well. And after the threat temporarily clears out, Daryl and Rick comb the area searching for any lifeless person, and but then all of a sudden they see this bloody-eyed zombie, and that turns out to be Patrick. They shoot the zombie. Patrick is dead. Patrick is gone. He's dead. So unfortunately they killed off his character, but what are you gonna do? They kill off a lot of people on this show. That's nothing new. But Daryl's able to shoot in the head. He realizes it was Patrick. Rick is initially hesitant after putting the people down, and coming out of the first cell, shaken and in a daze. Then another bloody-eyed walker, Charlie, emerges from the cell and is put down by Rick. They realize that since Charlie locked himself in his cell due to his sleepwalking, there's no way that he could have been bitten. So then after that scene, we see Rick, Herschel, Dr. Sumerian, Daryl, and Bob. They gather around Charlie's body, and they notice that he has no bites or scratches, so they're trying to figure out, wait a minute, how is this man infected? He wasn't bitten by a zombie. How is he infected? And I was wondering that myself. I'm like, I thought the cure was going to start to go airborne, but clearly that's not what's happening here, because Rick mentions Patrick, and then he mentions the pig, Violet, and the sick boar he encountered in the woods. And Glenn suggests it's a new walking disease, but Sumerian says that he saw cases like this the pre-apocalypse. So Sumerian explains that disease like the one that killed Patrick were spread by pigs and birds in the old days and thrive in closed quarters, like the cell block. Basically, they conclude that everyone in the cell block has been infected by the flu, and not just the flu that like you and I get sometimes, but like the swine flu, basically. They're the big swine flu spreading, basically, and that's why everybody is all of a sudden dying. That's why Patrick died, that's why the pig died, that's why the boar died, because of the swine flu. So here they're very concerned. They don't know what to do here. You know, they want to try to stop this swine flu however they can. They're really worried who's going to get infected and how to get infected by it. So that really changed a lot for the episode, and I really thought that was a huge plot twist, and I really love that. So after this, Ryan realizes that he is actually dying, and he asks Carol to take care of Lizzie and Micah for him, and this is very hard for Lizzie. She's crying here, and Carol tells them, what she has to do. Lizzie volunteers to do it, but she can't do it. She's so upset. She's crying, and Carol does it, and it's so sad the way she does it. She can't do it, and that's probably one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the whole episode. It was sad. I mean, he wasn't a huge character that he killed off, but they weren't like a huge character, but it still was sad that they had to kill him. It's sad for a child to lose their parent, but there's more to this story here. Which has to do with someone feeding a rat to the fence walkers. I have a theory on who it is, and I'll tell you guys who I think it is. But, after this, we see Carl, Herschel, Daryl, Sasha, and Glenn thinking what to do with people who may have been infected. They're basically trying to figure out how these people were infected and everything, and they hear coughing outside the room, and it's Karen, so they think that maybe she's possibly infected. She just looks like she's sick, and she's told that she must be quarantined in the tombs while they find out what the cause is. And Sasha, as well as Karen herself, calms Tyrese, saying that it's necessary. And as she leaves, Karen also mentions that David was coughing as well. And Carol and Maggie are carrying Mitchum back inside. When Rick approaches them, he tells them what happened and assures Maggie that Herschel and Beth are fine. He says that they must stay away from him from now due to possibly being infected. Then we see that Beth is kind of dressing Mitchon's wound when the latter says that she must make a mistake of letting the two walkers get the better of her. She basically barely says that is foolish, that says that Maggie and Carl should have left her, and Beth says that is foolish. People getting hurt is part of living with a group, and she mused about those who died, wondering what you call a parent who's lost a child. That was the main theme of this episode with what was her name? Lizzie. That was the main theme of it. So yeah, she asks Mitchum to hold Judith while she cleans up the mess Judith made on her. And Mitchum looks at Judith with indifference, but then loses control and weeps while while holding Judith close. And we don't know why she's crying. So why is she crying? Did she lose a child, possibly? That we don't know? Why is she crying? I really don't know why she's crying. So then Carol goes to talk to Micah and Lizzie as they stand by the fence. She turns to Lizzie and tells her that Ryan asked her to take care of them, and says that bluntly that Lizzie is weak and that in this world she can't be. Lizzie begins crying that they killed him. It's too much for her. Carol realizes that she is actually referring to Nick, she's not upset about Ryan, she's upset about Nick, the walker she named the previous episode. Lizzie runs away, and Micah explains that Lizzie isn't weak, she's funny in the head. This leads me to my theory that Lizzie is the one who's feeding the rats to the walkers through the fence, because maybe she's the one who kind of, I don't know, she could be crazy, she could just not know how all this works, she could actually, like Mike in a certain, Nick in a certain way, maybe he's a lost ancestor or something. We'll just have to see, I don't really know, but we're definitely going to have to see what happens here. So then Daryl is digging graves for those who died when Rick comes by to help. Daryl tells Rick that he's earned his time away from being in a leader position. When Maggie screams for them to help follow her, it's shown the massive group of walkers drawn by the gunfire from earlier converging in a portion of the fence that's about to give away. And, Rick ultimately decides that he needs to sacrifice the piglets in an effort to distract the walkers away from the fence. And, he becomes emotionally affected by this. And finally we see that Carol finds Lizzie and Micah near a fence looking at walkers again. Carol assures her that she needs to be strong letting her father go and not to run away from her fear of the walkers, but to face them. And finally, here's the biggest scene in the episode. We see Carl finds his father dismembering the pig pen. He tells Carl they need to stay away from Judith for a while to protect her from possibly being infected. Carl then reveals Carol's teachings to Rick, asking that he not confront her. And Rick then gives Carl's gun back and pulls out his own gun and holster before burning the pig's pen remnants in his shirt that was bloodstained by the pigs. this was a very big scene because we saw a very big change in Rick. Before it looked like he was being much more trusting of these, you know, everything, but now he realizes he needs to go back to himself because it's not safe anymore. It's not like it was 6 or 7 months ago. He needs to be more, you know, he can't be it's not as safe as it was, so he needs to be more mindful of those things. And then we get to the final scene of the episode. We see Tyrese. He visits Karen's isolated cell in the tombs with some flowers, basically because, you know, he was worried that, you know, she was, you know, sick and everything. He's trying to cheer her up, but he can't find her. She's missing. He notices a trail of blood leading down the hallway. He gives, like, this look on his face when he follows it, and we see that Karen was actually killed, and as was David. So who killed them? We don't know. Who do I think killed them? Well, I don't know. I don't know who killed him, but this is such a big game changer for the episode. So many game changers here. You have 3 big game changers here, guys. You have the swine flu. People are starting to break out with the swine flu. 2, someone is feeding rats to those, you know, someone is feeding rats to the walkers, and we know who it is. I'm assuming it's Lizzie. The question is, why is she doing it? 3, you have the whole who killed Karen. So 3 big things going on here. It's definitely going to be a very great, scene. I can't wait to see what else happened in this episode. I absolutely loved it. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Who killed Karen? That's what I want to know. Why do you think, Lizzie, do you think Lizzie is the one who's feeding the rats to, the walkers? Is there someone else you think it could be? Who do you think, if it's not Lizzie, who could it be? And also, what do you think of this whole, swine flu thing? How are people going to get it? What do you think, why do you think people are getting it? How are they getting it? That's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.